Hi, I'm JT Mitchell, Pilot Point, Texas. Here we train world-class halter horses. My wife and I, Katie, have been doing this for 25 years. We've been fortunate enough that in those 25 years we've accumulated over 175 world champions, and I've also been fortunate enough to have a world champion in every stock breed association that there is known to be. We run 18 to 20 head of halter horses here year-round. We show every weekend, just about. We have a few weekends off throughout the year. We go to all the major stock shows and all the Stock Breed Association world shows, from quarter horse to the buckskin, to the palomino, to the pinto, and to the paint. We stay busy 365 days a year, and let me show you around the barn. Okay, here we're going to start by showing you some of our new horses we have in the barn. This is a new baby stud colt that we just weaned a couple days ago and are getting him broke to our program. We got him haltered, broke the lead, and get him put into an exercise program here in the next couple weeks. Make sure he has all of his shots and his vaccinations. We do that with all the new babies that come in the barn. This is a pretty busy time of the year with the weaning, so we do 8 or 10 babies a year for some customers up in the Tulsa area. We went with her babies last year to the Iowa Fraternity and won around $25,000 with them, placed in the top 2. And she is a very avid breeder, and she has about 10 to get prepared for that fraternity that's later on in September now. On down this way, we have several world-class paint and quarter horse halter horses. Here we have an age gelding, Mr. Redesigned. He's a 9, 10, 11-time world champion in the Paint and Pinto Horse Association. He was the #1 amateur horse in the nation last year. Had 666 points, belongs to a lady down in Tomball, Texas, Sally Griffin. Really, really nice horse. We also, down this way, as you can see, we do the buckskin horses as well. Yearling filly, we're preparing for the Buckskin Horse World. It's later on this summer in July in Tulsa. And then from there, we'll take you over, and we also have palominos as well. We have a 4-year-old palomino mare that belongs to a gentleman in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we're preparing her to get ready for the Palomino World Show in Tunica, Mississippi in early July. You know, in the halter industry, genetics is very, very important, but the most important thing that we do is the feed program. Last fall, early September, a gentleman approached me and stopped by and wanted to talk to me about a feeding system. And was very, very, very skeptical, just because for 25 years, with all the success we've had, hard-headed like most people are, I didn't see any reason to change my feeding program. But he convinced me to put one in the barn, try it, and go from there. Tried it on a yearling mare that we have down in the barn. And we tried it for about 45 days. My wife left. She was out of town for about 3 or 4 weeks. And at that point, she came back in town, and she walked down through the barn like she always does to critique and tell me what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. And she wanted to know what I'd done to the yearling mare. And I said, nothing. Why? I haven't changed her feed, haven't done anything. The only thing that's different is the new iFEED we've tried. And she said, well, she's put on 40 or 50 pounds since I've been gone, which was music to my ears, because that's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to get weight on them, exercise them properly, and turn that into muscle, define their body, and make them like a bodybuilder. So the iFEED worked. I then, at that point, I purchased 18 of them. I have them throughout the barn. The most important thing that I like about them is that they have the capability of, they all are timed and go off at the same time every day. Like now, we feed these horses 15 times a day. There is a control unit inside that you can control how much each horse gets, which is essential to me, because it's obvious this new baby filly does not need as much as this full-grown horse. So I can control how much each horse gets every feeding and every time. And they don't all have to have the same feed. You can use a sweet feed product for this horse, you can use a pelleted feed for this horse, and from that point you can change your program to fit your program. It doesn't matter if it's a pellet or, like in the case of this one, it's a really wet feed. The feeder will feed any kind of product that you have that's on the market today. And the feed companies today are so good in their nutritional value and what they do. As long as you pick a feed you like, I'm not going to tell you what kind of feed to feed, what kind of feed not to feed. As long as you find something you're comfortable with, the iFEED can feed it, because as you can see, it can do this type of feed, or it can do a pelleted feed. And it essentially works on any kind of horse at any kind of feeding program you want to use. And the most important thing about the iFEED is that it's multiple savings. Within a year, they will pay for themselves just on the amount of savings you make from your feed program. It also helps me on the other end, whereas we were disposing of our waste through a container, and I was using one container every day. Now I use one container every 3 days. So obviously that the feed that they are intaking is going in their system, and they're utilizing it better, and so I have less waste. At the same time, with less waste, I use less shavings. Shavings is very expensive here and in other parts of the country, and it's saving me on those as well. The iFEED has really helped my feed program. We have, since then, we put them in last October, we have had somewhere between 12 and 14 world champions. This is a horse named World Class Storm. He was a world champion at the Pinto. He was a 2-time world champion last year as a yearling at the APHA World, and so far this season he is undefeated. We had a really good program, but the iFEED has taken us to the next level and helped our program here at Mitchell Show Horses become even better than world class. I'm JT Mitchell, and I feed naturally.